One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
Greetings, this is Tai Brown and welcome to One Question. I'm here at the 2017 Women Leaders in College Sports Convention. Our guest today is Tamica Smith-Jones from UC Riverside. Greetings, Tamica. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ty.
Now, Tamica, TJ, right?
TJ works.
I have to say congratulations. You were being awarded the Division I Administrator of the Year Award by the Women Leaders Association. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Now, you're at UC Riverside, and I have a leadership philosophy. It goes, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And you've been pretty successful in creating an environment there at Riverside. Can you tell us how you went about doing that? You're in your second year now, how you went about creating the environment for success there at UC Riverside.
Well, Riverside had a great history and tradition already prior to me arriving, but there was one little variance on the campus, and probably that created a gap with the community, and that was the low profile of athletics. And so Chancellor Kim Wilcox, he's in his third year, going in the fourth year, wanted to bring in an athletic director that had a high business acumen that could really make the dollars and cents, matter as a Division I program, but also to elevate our profile, not just in the city of Riverside, not just in the region and the Big West Conference, but nationally. So I think my reputation preceded itself from that standpoint, being on different committees and being very much a part of intercollegiate athletics on a larger landscape from Division II to FBS with UTSA, historically black colleges and universities. So just bringing all of what I embodied as a person and as a professional to Riverside, I think was really advantageous for the time of transformation for the campus. Riverside is 25,000 students. Mainly an Asian population, probably less than 10% African American, and so the chancellor has really had a huge push on hiring African Americans, minorities, whether that's women, and I just kind of fit all those. I checked all those boxes. So. In athletics, we're just building a culture of champions. We were a Division II program that transitioned to Division I. So coming in and being able to set a standard of expectations was one real important key. One of the things I said is that we were at the bottom of our Big West Conference. Big West is a very competitive conference, and we were ninth. The best we were is eighth in most years in our 15-year Division I history. My first year, we landed at the fourth spot, and we were really, really excited about that, and I credit that to the coaches, to the student athletes, and I think they just really got behind the vision of we no longer wanted to settle for status quo, settle for just being a Division I institution. We wanted to be competing at that high level. So that expectation, I think, is what really set the tone for my leadership being there. And then the other thing, outside of, giving the coaches and the student athlete the expectation, was really being able to show them what the expectation was as well. We didn't have a lot going on with, new media, social media, the way we marketed our program. We didn't have billboards up in the community. I go to the community and I see billboards of other universities, and I'm trying to figure out, we're the only Division I institution. Like, where's our billboards? And everything that came back to me was, that cost, that. It was all excuses from my standpoint. So I just started doing what, athletic directors do, is just find a way and make one. What I had been taught back in my Division II days at Clark Atlanta. And so we got a sponsor, one of our soccer alums, to donate the billboards for the first year. Then we got sponsors that are now purchasing ads for the billboard. So that's been changing, the buzz and building our brand in the community. We also started doing different media and marketing exposure for our program. A lot of what we did was still shots. It was, lame, it just, nobody was interested. And I just started looking at things and talking to the staff about, if you look at this, how exciting are you about this? Or I was at that game, and this does not reflect, what was happening at that game. And the staff, to their credit, they just jumped on it, not all, both feet in, but gradually they started understanding how building that buzz and that brand, gave us value. And anytime you're seeing the return on what you're investing, whether that's your time or, the resources, you want to do more of it. We've done another thing with our student athletes as they're going into fifth year. Exhausting their eligibility, we're bringing them back into the program, encouraging them to pursue advanced degrees. That was my journey, getting your master's degree, and also getting that on-the-job training. As a student athlete, no better place to work than within the athletic department where you're comfortable, you get to, sharpen the skills and tools that you've already been using and seeing very closely. So we have support staff and graduate assistants or internships or volunteers or students that are really, trying to find their way still working within our department, which has been a huge help with a limited staff. They're able to gain some real skills and professional development and growth. And our program, our department, is really being able to get more human resources that we can't, afford to do and, get any other way. So that's been a win-win as well. So continue to just, try to find ways to build that culture and make sure we're not settling for who we used to be, but looking at the new era, new generation, and where we're trying to go.
Well, that's the question I was going to ask. It sounds like you've defined the expectations, right, to create the culture, and then you've also influenced everybody to understand that we need to tell the story of Riverside athletics, right? So I guess my next question is, how do you plan on maintaining what you've created? I mean, you're bringing back student athletes, so they'll probably end up getting hired or something at some point, so everybody who knows the story will continue to be able to tell the story. What is your immediate and then long-term plan for the future of Riverside athletics?
Well, that's a great question of maintaining, because, if you can't sustain it, it just goes in these peaks and valleys. And we talk about this. I have my one-on-ones with my head coaches, and we talk about how do we sustain success. And I've been working on a strategic plan for the program since I've been there. I've never been as challenged to get a vision, birth than I have been at Riverside, just because of the uniqueness of just trying to balance the academics and the athletics and being ambassadors. And a lot of times, it's not, athletics is not as celebrated as, we see it on the Power 5 scale. At my mid-major, high research, you have these conversations about, is athletics relevant? How can we save? And so I'm in all those dynamics. In my short 2.5 years, I hear, but I don't get distracted by any of it. I think immediately what we try to do to sustain that success is just do what we are doing very well and do more of it, and try to find ways that people will partner with us to help us grow our brand, share our story. We've gained some great alumni support, new donors, new partners in business, whether that's local business or we're with Learfield. They've been a great model for us. I was not sold on whether that model worked for us when I first got there, and I've discontinued some services just because it just didn't fit what we were trying to do. And Learfield has really, we have a GM now that is a former alum, baseball player, who's really bought into what it takes to build Riverside in our brand. So that's immediate. Just everybody has to be, have to sell the university. Everybody has to sell UCR athletics. Everybody has to be a promoter of that brand, and they wear a lot of hats. And a lot of times it looks like, as the athletic director, I'm just promoting it in different ways, and it becomes about me, and it's not. I'm promoting the UCR everywhere. I'm the walking brand of it. I'm the first probably person that they'll see or get to talk to, and then it creates an opportunity for me to share the story of my awesome student athletes. Winning the national championship at UCR is not supposed to happen. We did that. In my tenure, we did that. So now we expect another national champion sometime soon. Winning men's and women's golf in the same year has not been done in the Big West many times. We did that. In my short tenure, we've done that. Going undefeated in women's basketball. I mean, 16-0, not losing a conference game. We did that. So there's so many things that we can do. We just got an announcement that we were 35th in recruiting for baseball this year.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And we did that, so we've got a lot of things that we can do. Those are the immediate things that the coaches are taking on. The student athletes are grinding it out every day. As an athletic director, I have to keep putting it out there everywhere I go. And our alums and our donors and supporters and our partners, we have to tell that message so they can tell the message. And so we do these, and so that's the short term, but the long term of it is what I've coined into the 3 Ps. We need to make sure that everybody that we connect with or communicate with, whether it's social media, face-to-face, newsletter, I have an AD's newsletter, that we're talking about, we're promoting UCR athletics. So every day we're charged to promote UCR. So if I can get the 25,000 students on our campus to promote UCR athletics,
You guys will be
we good. We good. The second thing I ask is that they find ways to be present. We need butts in the seats wherever we go. I don't care if we, at home we need them in the seats even more. But if we got a game against Michigan this year in men's basketball, we need butts in the seat. Okay, so we need their presence. And then the third thing is their partnership. I think long term, if we can get more eyeballs on our program, that people will see the investment that they're making, not just in UCR athletics, but in young people, young leaders that are going to one day be mature adults, running the world, and you want them on your team. And I think that's the value, and that's what I'm trying to make sure that we do at UCR.
Well, it sounds like things are going well for you. And if you would just briefly, you're talking about telling the story of sports. I was told that you have a book out.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the name of your book and give us a brief synopsis of what it's about?
My book is A Ball and a Dream. It's a memoir autobiography, and it just tells my journey as a young girl growing up playing with the boys in my backyard and having an aspiration to go off to college on a full scholarship. Did that. And then finding athletics as a profession and where I am now. It tells about the ups and downs of it, the challenges, having that tough supervisor, being laid off for a period of time, not having direction of which way do you go. Do you stay in the industry? Do you get out? So it's really a fascinating opportunity to get to know me, some good, bad, and ugly. But at the end of it, I think it encourages and inspires any young person, mature adult, in their in-between game, to make a bold move, be courageous, be confident, know that they have a gift, and their gift will make room for them, but they got to continue to work it, navigate. It's an art, and so that's what it's about.
Well, excellent. It sounds like you're doing great at creating and maintaining an environment that people want to be a part of. And congratulations on your book, and thank you for joining us on One Question.
Thank you for having me.
That was Tamica Smith-Jones, Athletics Director at UC Riverside, and this is Tai Brown signing off.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.